Simon & Schuster Audio presents The Nameless Ones, a thriller. Written by John Connolly and read by Jeff Harding.
Part 1. Home is the sailor, home from the sea, and the hunter home from the hill. Robert Louis Stevenson, Requiem. Chapter 1. The two figures were by now a familiar sight, if only to a select few, for even ones such as these, who guarded their privacy so assiduously, must inevitably become known to some of their neighbors. For a time they had not been seen out together, and only the black man, generally believed to be the younger, was noticeable on the street and the surrounding blocks. It was rumored that the other, the older, marginally, and less elegant, by a more considerable degree, was ill, or perhaps recovering from illness, although questions directed, however discreetly, to Mrs. Evelyn Bondarchuk, the woman who occupied the first-floor apartment in their building, were met with a stony silence from the lady herself and the disapproving yaps of her assorted Pomeranians. According to local lore, it was Mrs. Bondarchuk herself who owned the property, although she carefully concealed her interest through the use of shelf companies, a series of lawyers at least as tight-lipped as she, and a Dickensian amount of paperwork. Not that anyone was unduly troubled by this minor act of deception, which had long ago mutated from suspicion into fact. After all, this was New York City, and more specifically Manhattan, where various levels of eccentricity, reinvention, and even downright criminality were, if not a given, then at least quotidian. But the truth of the matter was that Mrs. Bondarchuk was merely a tenant, albeit one who functioned also as a watchdog, since her chair by the bay window of her apartment offered a clear view of the street in two directions. Mrs. Bondarchuk's bark, it might have been said, was probably worse than her Pomeranian's bite, although it was a close-run thing, and none of the neighbors were in any hurry to test the hypothesis. The Pomeranians were nippy little beasts when the mood took them, but Mrs. Bondarchuk possessed an undeniable solidity, and all her own.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?